every student can succeed. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight, that every student can succeed. And the challenge as teachers is we just have to figure out how we can do that for them. When I was young and I was in school, I really didn't fit in. And I always dreaded Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day was a day when everyone would bring in Valentine's Day cards for the people that they liked in school. And they would go around and hand out the cards. And I would bring in my cards that my mother had given me, and I would come into school and I would go around and give one to every one of my classmates, and I'd go back and I'd sit at my desk. And that was the hard part for me, was I always wanted to get that bag off the end of my desk and hide it, because I didn't want anyone to know that I actually didn't get any Valentine's cards. So that was always a hard moment for me in school. I really didn't fit in, and I definitely wasn't engaged in school. Later, when I went to high school, I was told not to take advanced courses because my dream was to go to university, and they said, that's probably not going to happen. You should avoid advanced courses. I refused to do that, and I thought, I'm going to try and make my dream come true, so I kept working, and I eventually got my honors degree and my bachelor's of education. And obviously, I'm now a teacher. And I tell my students these stories every year, and it's hard to tell people these stories because they're kind of embarrassing. Actually, it's kind of embarrassing to tell them to a bunch of adults as well. But with the kids, I tell them every year, and I make sure they know, because I want them to know that everyone's voice counts and that their dreams are definitely worth pursuing, and that it is hard. They're not the only ones who don't fit in. Because when they feel that way, they don't know that other people feel that way as well. They think it's just them. And really, there's more than one student who feels that way. And the challenge is to get them to feel more connected and to feel a part of the class. This year, what I found really helped my students that struggle was technology. And they came to my class, and I wanted to help them. So several of them had difficulties with reading and writing at grade level. So what I did was I used iPads, we used Chromebooks, we used all kinds of devices, and we used those to help them to bring themselves up so that they were on equal footing with the other students, so that they could be successful. And as we worked with technology, we found different ways to be successful, and the students loved it. And I brought in Bring Your Own Device, so all the students in my class were able to use a device in school. So instead of it being a big computer in the corner of the room where that one student would have to go and sit and work when everybody else worked at their desks, suddenly everyone was using technology. Everyone was allowed to bring in their own device, and everyone looked the same. And it was very good for these students to just blend in and to feel like a part of the class. That worked, but over time, technology isn't perfect, and we all have those little glitches, and things wouldn't always work for those students. So as things started to become more challenging, I saw that confidence that was really starting to build. I saw that start to drop off. And I knew that there was still a challenge ahead of me. I had helped them with technology, but I hadn't found something that really allowed them to get past their struggles. The problem for me was that I didn't ask the smartest people in the room. I didn't ask the students that I was trying to help. And they actually knew exactly what they needed. I just didn't know what it was. And for my class this year, what that tool was Minecraft. And Minecraft is a video game. So my first thought as a teacher, the first time a student came up and said, "Can I show my work today in Minecraft?" My first thought was, no. But I had to step back from that, and I had to give it a chance. Because with technology, when we try new things, great things can happen. We have to be willing to take that chance. So I stepped back and I said, sure, why not? My worry was that he was going to go off to do his work, and it was going to take him about half an hour to get this one task done when everybody else would be done in 10 minutes. The amazing thing was, he was done in the exact same time limit as all the other students. We had removed the barrier of language and the barrier of having to read to do his work. So he jumped right in. He was able to build all the words and letters that he would normally reverse or do upside down. He was building them correctly in the game, and he built the words he needed to build, and he shared visually all the concepts that all the other students were sharing in writing. And he was able to explain it all. And this student had sat silent in my class since the first day of school, and that day he was brave enough and he was confident enough to walk up and to share what he had learned in front of the class. And he did that with Minecraft. And for me, that was very powerful. And so he was able to share his work, and this is just an example of something that he did. And there's a lot of things the students have been able to do this year. Technology has really enabled the students, and it's helped them to be equal. Over time, what we've discovered is there's countless uses for technology if you're willing to think outside the box. So one of our latest endeavors with Minecraft is choose your own adventure stories. So the students are going into the game, and there's no creatures, there's no problems, it's just a building game. It's kind of like Lego, but it's digital. And so they go in, and they're creating stories. And they're writing stories while they're going through and creating things. And so they'll come out and they'll write something down, they'll get some ideas, and they'll go back in and they're creating it. And our next step is we're going to connect to a class in Korea, and we're going to build this story together. So their engagement is so high right now, and there's an authentic audience for all the work that they're doing, and they're really excited. And it's that engagement piece that's got them coming to school and excited every day. All the technology we've used this year has really helped the students to work better as a community. And it's that community of students working together that has really grown. And the connections that's happened when they all feel like they're equal and they're a part of things, I think is very powerful. As they move forward after this year, I hope that they'll take this newfound confidence they have. I've noticed that they've become fearless, and they'll try anything now, and they're not scared to do things anymore. And for me, that's been the real success this year, because these students have become more successful. And I do have some special guests that I'm going to be bringing to you in just a second. Technology isn't always perfect, and we're working on that right now. And I'm hoping to have them up on the screen in just a second. There's some students from my class, and they wanted to share something with us. So we're just waiting to see them on the screen. Okay. So, we're still waiting. Okay, what else? And so some challenges I've given my students this year. Some of the challenges I've given my students this year, I didn't actually expect them to be able to do, and they have impressed me so much. Because sometimes with technology, you say, well, see if you can do this. And I think that would be really hard to do. But the thing that's happened is they've become very confident in doing these different tasks, and they don't feel that same hesitation that I do. They're like, okay, I can do that, and off they go, and they jump right in. And they're ready to jump in right now. And here they are. Okay, hi guys.
Hi, Mr. Matt.
Hey.
Hi, we have something to show you. Hi.
What'd you guys do? Did you make something for us?
We want to show you something we built.
Awesome. Okay, so what they're doing right now, they're moving off of Google Hangouts.
It's the stage.
And they're switching to a screen share, and they're going to show you something they built in
Thank
Minecraft.
you. Set it off. See?
Okay.
And backstage, too.
They built backstage as well.
We made everything. See, talk.
Down here we got the speaker, the screen, we got
TED
the
Talk.
stage,
TED Talk.
TED. Yeah, we got
The audience.
Yep.
That's you guys are all pumpkin heads. I hope you don't mind. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Great job. Thank you.
Back doors.
Thank you.